Can you all help me complete this sentence for me? Every story has three parts: the beginning, the middle, and... That's correct. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Allow me to narrate a story today. And just like any other story, this too has three parts. Act 1. The beginning. The city was draped in the silence of the night. No people around but just Sia, returning home from her classes. She had decided to walk back home because she hadn't found an Uber late at night. Now you see, as humans we make bad decisions, alright? Ones that end up leaving us in a state worse than before. And Sia's decision to walk back home alone late at night might have been a very bad decision. It was awfully quiet. Not a single soul on the street. Sia constantly kept looking back, making sure no one was following her. Perhaps it was the weight of the darkness itself that she felt pressing down on her shoulders. Suddenly, breaking the stillness of the night, she hears the hum of an auto rickshaw engine. She thought this auto was the guardian angel in her story. She felt somewhat relieved. The auto slowed down, and in it was a man who looked like he was in his late 40s but still in his lover boy era. The auto gleamed with cheap LED lights and a Bhojpuri song playing in the background, almost making it seem like a wedding barat. Sia instantly thought of one word. Chapri, she said. Where to, madam? The auto driver asked. To the main market road, Sia replied. Sure, the auto driver replies. Sia hops in, and so the journey began. End of Act 1. Act 2. The middle. The auto driver switched the music off. So, what are you doing out so late at night? Don't you know it's not safe for anyone on this road? I was just going home from my classes. I didn't find an Uber. Of course you didn't find an Uber. A serial killer is on the loose. Now you see, Sia had heard of that news before. But she didn't think much of it. Most likely because she didn't realize the seriousness of it. She had heard how the serial killer picks his victims on this particular lonely street and severs every body part until the victim cannot be recognized. Sia read the nameplate in front of her. Ramesh, it read. It sparked a hint of curiosity and a glimmer of doubt in her head. She asked, Ramesh uncle, why are you traveling on this road alone late at night? I didn't have a choice. My house is in this direction. I have to take this road. You're lucky I found you, you know. But that answer was barely convincing. As he said this, Sia could notice someone standing afar, the distance between them rapidly closing. The shadowy figure had one hand sticking out, asking for a lift. At this point, Sia had her fingers crossed, hoping that it would be someone she could feel safe with. The auto slowed down once again. It was a tall man with sharp features. Where to, sir? To the main market road, the man replied with a stutter. Sure, that's where we headed to. Hop in. As the man got in, Sia noticed that this man had a scar on his face. She was hoping for a savior, but he turned out to be more like a devil in disguise. With a creepy grin, he said, What are you doing out so late at night? Don't you know there's a serial killer on the loose? And Sia repeated everything that she'd been saying so far. I was just going home. Besides, my house is very close by. The man leaned in. What if I am the serial killer? End of Act 2. Can someone remind me what the third part of a story is? There's the beginning, the middle, and... Yeah. That's correct. Or is that so? Cut scene to the next morning. Sia's dad is watching the news. The news reporter is shouting on the top of his voice, "Breaking news! Last night an auto driver and a passenger were found dead while heading to the main market road. The police have identified the auto driver, a 38-year-old male, Ramesh, and the passenger, Harsha, a 28-year-old male with a scar on his face. The serial killer has struck again. How long will this keep going and why?" Sia walks out of her room yawning. "Dad, can you turn the volume down? I had a long night yesterday." The end. Or should I say, the twist. Ladies and gentlemen, every story has three parts. A beginning in which a character is introduced, the stakes are raised high and the audience is hooked. A middle which carries the story with ups and downs, and then the writer has two choices. Either present the audience with the end they're expecting or shock them with a plot twist. R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps series, was a master at this. His books would leave me wondering what, why, how, intending me to pick up another book. R.L. Stine said, and I quote, "A great story has three parts: the beginning, the middle, and the twist." What happened to Sia? Is she the serial killer? Did she escape the serial killer? Or is her dad the serial killer? Etc., etc., etc. I will leave you with those questions today. But now that you understand how a story works, let me ask you, what's your story? Thank you. Team on.